Hey, how's it going? It's Yikhai Wong here, and in this video, I'm gonna go through with you the 6 steps to book over Messenger. Alright, so before we get into this, I just want to tell you that you shouldn't book over Messenger. It's the last place that you want to go, right? This is sort of like you have to put this as your back pocket just in case there's no other option. Whenever you get an inquiry, you have to get them on the phone as soon as possible, on phone or in person, right? Because over Messenger, people are bombarded with distractions, right? Like if you go through Facebook newsfeed, there's so many things blasting at you all the time. You're looking at this, you're looking at that, and you can't really get someone's focus. If you can't get someone's focus, how are you gonna get them to actually commit? Get them to commit into your into what you have to offer. All right, so the first thing that you have to do is you really have to book everything over the phone. You shouldn't even consider booking it over Messenger, right? And all right, so the first part, right, is all right, so you want to get on the phone as much as you can. So you want to really withhold the price, and you don't want to send them a wall of text. And why do we withhold the price? I know like some people they like to cut the chase and get the price right away. But the problem is, if you give the price up front, it only works for services under $300 because that's how much roughly people value detailed services. Now, if you want to book anything above $500, 1,000, 1,500 to 2 grand, you need to basically convey the value in justifying the price, right? Because as I said in my previous video, if you can convey price is basically tied together with value, right? You want to give as much value and convey and let them understand what the value is before you name the price. Because any price points without value, any price point is expensive. It's like trying to sell you a phone and you don't even know like what phone is it, and I say like, all right, it's 2 grand, right? Or $1,500. You'll be like, what? $1,500 for a phone? But what if like it's an iPhone, right? So if you know it's an iPhone and it costs like $1,500, I actually don't know. I actually don't even know like how much like iPhone costs. So don't point me on that. So if you know that it's an iPhone and you know that the value is roughly about like $1,500, you'll be like, yeah, that sounds fair. The same thing as well. You really have to let them understand and let them see the value before you actually tell the price, especially for higher ticket services like paint correction, coatings, PPF, and all that kind of stuff. So you want to withhold price. You want to make sure they understand the value before you give them the price. If not, you're gonna get like the typical objection like, oh, like it's too expensive, or let me talk to my wife and all that kind of stuff, right? And before we get into it, I just want to talk to you a little bit about micro commitments. I see this all the time. Whenever someone message them on Facebook asking like how much it costs, they'll send like the price list, like a wall of text. Boom, right? It's like walking to a store, and the salesman just keep rambling on. Hey, check this out. This is this amount. Hey, check this out. This is so cool. Blah blah blah. Like recently, I just went into a dealership to look at a car, and the salesman just keeps rambling on. Haven't even asked me any questions. Didn't even listen to like what I want. Rambling on. Hey, check out this car. This is like new tires. Blah blah blah. I don't even care. I don't even give a shit. Right? You have to understand micro commitments, especially with Messenger. And when you message someone on Messenger, it's more like you need to think of it like you are messaging a friend, right? You have to get them to micro commit, all right? Send them a message like, what are you looking for, right? Get them to reply to that, all right? So what do you want to get it done? Let them reply to that before even digging more and before expanding your message a little bit more. You don't ever want to just, when they ask you like how much for a detail, blah blah blah, why is it so expensive? You don't want to send them like a wall of text. That's not what you want to do. You want to basically to get them to micro commit to you. Play the game a little bit, right? Let them come to you a little bit more of like you going to them. So you want to basically like have a little bit of that micro commitments into your Messenger way to actually book them in over Messenger. And you will find it like the steps that I'm gonna go through in a bit. It's all optimizing for getting on the phone or getting to come in person, right? Because I know for higher ticket services, if I can get them to come into my shop, they will book it in, right? I don't want to lose a client just because I want to laze around and book over Messenger, because this is the way you will lose your potential clients. You know, like roughly, I did my numbers like the other day, roughly about one in five, 1 in 15 would actually book you over text, right? Versus if you book it in person, that's like at least like 50% if you book it in person, right? So which one do you want? Do you want 1 in 15, or do you want one every second person that comes through a shop? So you really have to understand the dynamic that is in play here, right? So whatever, if someone messaged me on Messenger, I'll get them on the phone as soon as possible, or I'll get them to come in. We'll get into that in a bit. So I want you to understand, like in 2020, there's the line between business and consumers, or business to a person, the line is so thin, right? It's no longer, because like back in the day, if you're talking to a business, you have to be all formal and stuff. Long gone the days, man. It's more like the more personal you are, the more, like, that's a good saying, like business is about building relationships, and I truly believe that, because I take the time out to understand like what people, who they are as a person, what they do, their families and stuff. You know, I always get to know them in person, and that actually helps my business a lot, because it's all about building your network and building your connections, right? So I want you to understand, I don't want you to message your customers as if like you're a business, you are a customer. I need to draw the line and be really like formal and stuff. Don't do that over Messenger. It's gonna kill your sales, 100%. Right? You want to be a little bit more casual, more person to person, because people connects with people. Like people values like actual human connection. So why would you draw a line? Why would you be like, oh, I'm a business, you're a customer? Because it's so awkward, and it's so old, and it's so blah, you know. So just do it a person in person. Have like as if like you're having a conversation with them. They were more inclined to book you in because they can relate to you, especially if you guys are in the same market. Like example, you might be a BMW enthusiast, and he has like an M3, and he wants to book his car in, and you have your M3, he has his M3, you guys can connect really easily. So this is so it's more like person to person. This is how we do business in 2020, right? This is more like in the 80s, right? 80s and 90s, and this is how we do business in 2020. Okay, so now let's moving into the 6 steps. So I'm just gonna move my camera here a little bit so you can see what the 6 steps is. I wrote it all down and I realized that my camera doesn't fit. Okay, so before we get into this, you want to get them to book. You try to call them first. If you can't call them, you can get to them. This is your last resort, and it's optimized for them to get on the phone or to get them to bring their vehicles in. Okay, so first you have to understand their vehicle. Ask them what car is it, or ask them questions about like why do you want to get it done. Find out what's motivating them to basically to inquire you for your detail services, right? And then figure out what they want, right? Figure out like what are you looking for, and then once they reply a little bit and have a little bit of conversation going, get them on the phone, right? Get them on the freaking phone so you can talk to them. There's a personal connection there. And one thing I want to put, when you get them on the phone, you actually get their undivided attention. And if you send a message over text, right, like their attention is everywhere. You know, like 1 second is here, 1 second is there. So many things popping up on their phone, you don't have their undivided attention. But however, if you get them on the phone, you have their attention for that short period of time. Hence, your closing rate, it will go up. So get them on the phone, and then you try to close them on the phone. But you get them, have a bit of back and forth conversation first, and then you can say that, hey, like, you're free for like a 5-minute chat, quick chat. I just want to see, I just want to learn more about your vehicle, whether or not, and to work out some best options for you. right? They should, once, if you nail these 2 points down properly, you should be able to get them on the phone. Now, if they can't get it on the phone, they say, oh, I'm busy, blah, blah, blah. Try to shoot for like the next day, or try to shoot some other time that suits them. But if they keep insisting that they want to get you, they don't get on the phone, send them some results, send them some 50-50, hey, check out this McLaren that I just did, check out this car that I just coded, blah, blah, blah. Get them excited, right? Get them excited over text. I do that all the time. If someone doesn't want to get on the phone, I just send them like a bunch of like work that I've done, 50-50, whatever it is, especially if it's like a similar car. If that person has an M3, you just did an M3, send some pictures of that M3 to them. That is why we define a unique market and we define a niche market for ourselves, right? There's a little like trick there. So, and then get them excited. So once they're excited, you want to gain commitment, right? Ask them when, all right? So when are you looking to get it done? Don't name the price first yet. Gain commitment, because what if like the person say, oh, I know, I'm looking to get it done like next month or so. Then you know that person is not going to close. You don't have to get the pricing, right? Because what's the point of giving the price when they are not going to book it in? Save yourself some energy and save yourself some energy from explaining what you have to offer, because it takes a bit of energy to explain what you have to offer. It truly does. It feel like if you try to explain and try to let them understand, it takes so much mental energy, man. So you want to save that for someone that actually wants to book it in. So ask when. If they say like, oh, I'm looking to get it done as soon as possible, you will have a green light and you are good to go, right? So when you ask when, they should say like as soon as possible, or they will say like, oh, I want to know the price first, right? And then so you, instead of pitching for your services, pitch for a initial consultation, initial estimate, whatever you call it, right? And then to give them that, just give them a range. Give them like a really big range. Hey, it can anywhere be like $400 to like $1,500, right? It's very hard unless I actually look at the vehicle in a person before I can actually tell you the pricing. Before I can basically give like a proper price on it, because I haven't seen the vehicle yet. I don't even know like what condition the paint is in, all that kind of stuff, right? You want to give a big range and never ever give a specific number over the phone or in text, right? It's like, how do you know? You haven't even seen the car yet. What do you know? Like what needs to get it done? So I want you to give a range, and when you give a range, and if they are really serious, they will go ahead and schedule that appointment in. If they are not serious, right? If they don't even tell you and before all these steps, you can sort of sense how serious are they basically want to book their cars in. You can sort of sense like these kind of things. If someone say that, oh, it just needs a polish, oh, I'm just like looking around and for prices and stuff, bad lead, right? You need to know how to make cold into like hot. And what you can do is that you send them some results, especially the similar cars they have done and all that stuff, right? So once you give a range, a big range for an estimate, right? Like, look, it can anyway be like $400. It can be like $1,500. The best way for us to know is you bring your cars in and we have a look, we have a chat, we have a coffee, whatever it is. Make them happy, make them want and excited to actually bring your cars in. Hey, I got it. So if that person has an M3, hey, I got an M3 in the shop that I'm currently working on right now. You want to come swing over and have a look? It's super cool. At the same time, I could get to your car as well and we can have a chat. Right? Make it simple. Make it like as if like a friend of a friend to friend, person to person, as I said earlier, to basically incentivize for them to bring their cars in, is gonna allow you to actually build that relationship. Right? So, and then afterwards, close in person. Right? On the phone or in person, I highly recommend in person at all freaking times. Right? Don't give your prices on text. They are not committed enough, and they are pinging like all over the places. It's like I said earlier. Just gonna move that up real quick. It's like I said earlier. Like if you put in text, it's like 1 in 15, right? If you book it in person, that's like 50%, right? Every second person that comes through the shop, they are gonna book it in because they already jumped through all these hoops. They already know you in person. They already know you that you do a good job. You guys already have a connection. It's kind of like they feel like obliged to book it in versus in text, right? They could just ghost you, right? So this is it for this video. I really hope this really helps because I know a lot of detailers they struggle with this a lot, and you just need the right strategy to basically to get this in. So now, if you guys want to learn more, you can check out like the free training either like on the side. It says that watch a video if you watch this video from my Facebook group, or if you watch this video on YouTube, just go to the link below. I have a 29-minute training on how to actually get your business from doing general jobs, basically doing questions and codings, and get to like solid 6 figures, right? So this is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoy it. Just let me know what you guys think and what topics that you want me to cover, and I should able to do one of these every week. All right, and have a good one.